Hey y'all, it's Dr. Sean, aka S Tomp, and today I'm gonna do something a little bit different. I'm gonna screen share because I want to take you behind the scenes of the staffing and recruitment agency success bundle, the digital toolkit that I have available, and the course that comes inside of that toolkit with the purpose of focusing on business startup and business ownership. Now, to give you a little bit of background into how I like to function, I'm not a huge fan of the startup phase of business. Over the years, I have started multiple businesses and been successful um, at a couple, honestly. But one business that has remained for over a decade now is my staffing and recruitment business, even though it has undergone multiple pivots over the years. When I started Care Dynamics, it was a homemaker companion, home health business, and I specialized in the home health, homemaker companion staffing niche. Prior to Care Dynamics, I owned a business called MTM on the Go, and I specialized in pharmacy staffing and medication therapy management for independent pharmacies. So I've been in this space a very long time. I've seen many come and go, and I want to address the fundamentals because I do offer consultations, I do offer programs, I do offer one-on-ones. However, let me just be upfront and say that I don't take particular interest in teaching anyone how to get an LLC, um, get an EIN, get a business bank account, build business credit, which I'm pretty good at teaching those things. But I've been able to identify what areas I like to focus on, what types of clients I like to work with. And the clients that I enjoy the most on my one-on-one consultative side are the ones who they're coming to me. Their business is already at the past the start phase. They're trying to become operational or they're already operational and they just need assistance with business development, client acquisition, candidate nurturing, automation, systematization. I do not enjoy teaching anybody the bare bone basics of starting this or any business because I feel like that information is everywhere. And I feel like I do a disservice when I teach it because I don't truly enjoy it. And it's just not something that I want to offer. So what I did was I nestled that part of the learning inside of the digital toolkit, inside of a course, so that I did not have to sit there and help people come up with a business name and where to go to start a website and how to get an EI. Just no, not for me. So what I have here on the screen is the Google Drive, the Google Drive that everybody emails me about and that I talk about in previous videos, the infamous Google Drive that contains resources for each phase of your business. The startup phase, the operations phase, which I feel is most important, and then the scaling. Once you reach $250,000 in billings, you want to start maybe scaling. You probably can start doing it before then, but I can say personally that I didn't necessarily have the knowledge and the resources in place to be able to scale the way that I have scaled and the way that I wanted to scale in order to push me beyond the $350,000 plus mark. Okay. So I'm going to go over a high level overview of how to start a staffing and recruitment business or any business for that matter. I'm going to go over the fundamentals so that you don't waste time and money booking a one-on-one with somebody for them to tell you how to go get an LLC, so that you don't go and spend hundreds of dollars with someone who says that they want to be you need them as your registered agent for your business because they'll accept your mail for you or whatever the case may be. I'm going to try to save you some money and give you some tangible takeaways on how you can start a recruitment and staffing business, or any business for that matter, and what you need to start out doing. So this is the Google Drive. So when I come into the Drive, the first thing you see is ABC, Startup Operations Scale. When you come inside of the startup folder, the very first folder that you will see is the Get Started checklist. So if you don't already have a business foundation, you would start here. If you buy the digital course or the digital toolkit, you will also get access to the course, which is free. It comes with the whole bundle. There is a business basics preliminary foundation part of the entire course. All right. So everything that you need to do to get to startup and get to your first day of operations. So when we open up our startup checklist, I have a prerequisite checklist. Prerequisites are the things that I feel should be done before you go and pay somebody thousands of dollars, hundreds of dollars to teach you this business. Because what you're paying for them to teach you the staffing and recruitment business. You're not really paying them to teach you business in general. There are business consultants that will teach you that, but I don't want to be one of them. And I have learned that over time when I've had people book one-on-ones, and I'm like, so you booked a one-on-one and you expect me in 1 hour to tell you everything you need to know from the rooter to the tutor about not only this business, but how to start a business in general. You must be out of your mind. And one thing about my one-on-ones, they're rarely only an hour. I take as much time with people as I need to take and as they need me to take. And oftentimes somebody will book one-on-one with me, and then, I don't tell them to book anymore. So they just have open access to me, which I'm going to get good about that here shortly, because some people try to take full advantage of it, and I'm over it. So here's the staffing and recruitment agency startup checklist. And keep in mind that this can be applied across any business, not just staffing and recruiting. So the first phase you have is your business planning. This is where you do your market research, and you want to understand the business of staffing and recruiting. Just because you're good at what your job is does not mean that you're prepared to be a business owner. So you want to start out by studying what is the demand for your business and the services that you want to offer. In particular, from the healthcare sector, when people come to me and they want to start a nurse staffing business, a pharmacy staffing business, oftentimes these are working professionals. They already have jobs. So I tell them to begin studying the company that they work for, especially if they already work for a staffing agency. That's ripe for the opportunity for you to learn the nuts and bolts of the business by studying who it is you work for. My first company, MTM on the Go, my first client was the retail pharmacy chain, the supermarket retail pharmacy chain that I had already worked for years. Started working for them back in college, worked up from a pharmacy technician, certified pharmacy technician, intern, pharmacist in charge. Many things I did in that company before I ultimately went on to be what's called PRN, start my own company and start sourcing myself out to them and other retail pharmacies. All right. So I learned the business by initially learning what agencies did that particular company already work with, what did they offer, and how could I be a service provider for the same. So starting out in the business, you're going to do market research. Business plan. It's important for you to start working on your business plan. However, do not allow a business plan or lack thereof to stop you from operating and starting your business. A lot of people get stuck on the business plan and they never start. for me, the business plan is a tool. It's a tool to allow you, number one, when you're filling out those sections of the business plan, like I showed somebody over the weekend, when you're filling out those sections of the business plan, the vision statement, for example, you're basically creating the framework of what will later become your marketing plan, as well as your website copy, your marketing material copy, because you're going to have to paste that business statement, mission statement, all that stuff. You're going to be pasting that and condensing that and editing that over and over and over, whether you're doing a pitch deck, whether you're making a LinkedIn profile for the business, a Facebook profile, you're going to be posting that mission statement, that vision statement, that about us section. All of that stuff is going to be something that you're going to have to use over and over. So one cheat code is to put it all in your business plan, then open your business plan up and copy and paste it. Use ChatGPT to help you edit it and condense it and tailor it to different sites. But the information that you put in your business plan, the mission, the vision, the target market, marketing strategy, financial projections, operational procedures, all of that is going to come into play when you're building your website, when you're marketing yourself. You've already talked about it in your business plan. So make a business plan, take it serious. It's going to be a working document that you're going to continue to edit over time as you go through your business. For example, the competitive analysis section of your business plan is always going to be changing, and you're always going to be studying other people that are in your industry. So use your business plan as an ongoing marketing tool. One resource that I like to create my business plans with is a site called LivePlan.com. You can go, they don't pay me to promote them. So go over there, see if they got something you like, use it. Use whatever business plan building site you want. Use pencil and paper if you want to, but work on your business plan. SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis is good old entry level business school 101. SWOT analysis is identifying your strengths, your weaknesses, the opportunities for your business, as well as the threats to your business. So get in there, learn how to do a SWOT analysis. And if you get the bundle in the course, all of these things are broken down. Like you get a business plan template, market research, competitive analysis, all of that stuff. But again, these are things that you don't really have to pay for unless you want to, because you can Google it. And that's with anything. I had somebody make a comment about entrepreneurs. Oh, you guys are just selling people information that they can find on the internet. Of course, everything can be found on the internet, but who gonna sit there and go find it? Everything is on the internet. So you the what you're paying for is somebody else organizing it for you. What you're paying for is somebody else finding it and putting it into an easily, readily available format for you and taking some of the guesswork out of it. No one's saying that we're creating something so new that's never been presented before. No. I mean, there's plenty of people teaching how to start a business. There's plenty of people teaching how to start a staffing and recruitment business. There's books on it, courses on it, whatever. It all comes down into who you want to learn it from and how you want to learn it, period. So with this checklist, before you go and pay somebody to mentor you in this business, you want to have a basic background, because you do yourself a disservice by paying for anybody's program and not having some basic knowledge of your own. And you're wasting time, because when time could be allocated, let's say we're doing an 8-week program. Well, if you kind of know what you're doing coming in, you can save some money and some time by already having the fundamentals and prerequisites done, so that you can focus on the important stuff like operations. And you can spend the whole week on operations versus having to spend 3 weeks waiting for you to get an LLC done, waiting for you do yourself a disservice. And honestly, we're going to charge you the same amount regardless. If you spend 8 weeks with me, you're going to pay me that same amount of money no matter what we cover. I'm going to work my damnedest to make sure we cover all of the information. I'm always going to over deliver. But if you come in with your own handicaps and I got to go back and be remedial and teach you those things, you do yourself and your own money a disservice, because I'm going to give you what you need to know, but it would be much better if you came in with certain things done so that we can get to the nitty gritty. Or you need to pay, instead of trying to cut corners and get the 8-week course, maybe you need 12 weeks. Maybe you need to book a one-on-one once a week and get some things done. Strategize about how you receive your information, whether it comes from me or anybody else. Legal requirements. There are how many states, how many countries? There is no way that I or any instructor can tell you the legal requirements for your location, your locale. I mean, we can look it up. I can Google it just like you should. But do you really want to pay me to do that? Or do you just want to take the step for yourself and find out the legal requirements for you to start your business? What business structure do you want? I don't recommend anybody do a sole proprietorship, but do you want an LLC or do you want a corporation? Do you want a PLLC? Why or why not? You should not necessarily pay somebody to be a part of their program and spend a week on that when you can have that done and be ready to go so you can get to the good stuff. So before you get to me or any other person that's teaching you staffing and recruitment, choose your business structure, register your business, choose a business name. That's important. So let me talk about this subject. Let me get on a soapbox about these business names, because these long, crazy business names in the recruitment sector tickle me. So the first thing I don't advise, stop putting staffing agency, recruitment agency in the name of your business. You want your name of your business to be somewhat nuanced to allow for you to make changes to it. You want it to be nuanced so that when you call prospective clients, you're not referring to yourself as an agency or a staffing agency, because you would be pigeonholing yourself into a space that everyone before you has come into and been held there. When you look at the big name staffing agencies, they look more like law firms. I would name a couple, but they are first name, last name, and it doesn't say LLC or corp or staffing agency, but it just has that big box agency feel. So, for example, the name of my business is Care Dynamics LLC. Care Dynamics doesn't necessarily describe what it is we do. I don't want it to. But the word care means something. The word dynamics means something. I put them together and that means something. But it can mean nothing and everything depending on what I want it to say. And then when I want to reveal that I am a staffing agency or recruitment agency, I just add that in. But I do not make that a part of my business name. So choosing your business name is important, but don't get stuck on it because you can change it. Another reason why I chose the name Care Dynamics, I didn't know it when I started 2013. I liked it for a specific reason, but I've been able to keep that name and pivot into different industries over the years. So that's why you want to pick a name for your business that allows some type of flexibility. Not to mention, there are funding issues that come down to your business name sometimes. You don't necessarily want your industry to be revealed in your legal paperwork of your business, because when you go to apply for funding, insurance, different things, they can tell what type of business you are and categorize you. For example, if you're in trucking, you never put the word trucking in your business name. Why? Because you're a liability risk. You don't put certain things in your business name because when you go to get a payment processor, Stripe, PayPal, whatever, they will categorize your business according to the risk. They will limit your transactions and so many other things. So when it comes to a business name, be unique, but keep it crisp. Keep it catchy. And don't make it too long, because keep in mind, you're going to have to go get a business URL for your website, and you got 5 different words. Each word has 10 letters in it. How do you think that's going to look when somebody's typing in www.whatever.com? Keep that in mind. You're going to register your business with the Secretary of State for your state, for your locale. I have a student who is living in one place. She's thinking about moving. So we went over which state would be best for her to incorporate her business. Things like that, I don't mind doing it. I don't mind answering those more intricate, complicated questions like that. But I'm not going to sit there and go to your State Department site and tell you how to register a business. There are businesses that do that. I'm not doing it. That's not what I do. State business license, whether or not you require one, you need to find that out. Any local permits that you need in your state. Some states require you to have a certification or license to do certain types of staffing. To have a nurse registry, that's a certain type of certification and state registration licensure process than just owning a staffing agency. So those are the things that you want to know and educate yourself on prior to jumping into this business. Anybody can do whatever job you do. Anybody can start a business. Anybody can start a staffing agency. But all of those are different pieces of the pie that require different levels of knowledge. Financial planning, knowing where to go get a business bank account. I always tell people, get a business bank account wherever you do personal business. But I also tell people to have multiple bank accounts for different reasons. Like, you might have a place where all of your revenue comes into this particular account, then it gets split up and disseminated to avoid commingling of your funds, your personal funds versus business funds versus overhead funds versus payroll. You might want to have 3 to 5 different bank accounts for those specific purposes. Funding. You want to get your funding sources together. How are you going to fund this business? How are you, if you're going to do staffing, how are you going to cover payroll? Are you going to get payroll factoring? Are you going to use a third party service? Are you going to put it on a credit card? Are you going to use a loan from the bank? Are you going to get funding from family and friends? Know that up front. You want to also know the types of insurance that you're going to need per your state, per your county, per your industry, whether you need general liability, the workman's compensation, professional liability. A lot of times for us healthcare professionals, I carry professional liability. So know what insurances you need to get. Then when it comes to your operational setup, decide whether or not you're going to be remote, you're going to be a hybrid, you're going to get a co-working space, you're going to get a physical office. Decide what it is you want to do up front. Recruitment software. You don't necessarily have to have a lot of this software to start out, but it's good to go ahead and get the various demos to know what all of the different software platforms, what do they offer as far as an applicant tracking software system. Do the demos and see which ones you like. You might be able to run your business in the beginning with Google Sheets, just like I did. But when you get to a certain point and you have a whole bunch of candidates and it becomes a lot to manage, you might want to upgrade to Jazz HR, Crelate, Manitol, Loxo. You're probably not going to be able to get Greenhouse, honey. Greenhouse is expensive. Like, that is an enterprise type website, and they make it clear for you. But keep that in mind when it comes to hiring on the internal level, not just hiring people to go out to your clients, but when it comes to hiring people within your business. If you want delivery consultants or you need freelancers to come and do some virtual assisting for you, you need to consider this at startup to factor it into your cost. Then when it comes to training, for example, in the construction industry, staying updated on the training and labor laws allows you to know who needs OSHA training. In healthcare, who needs HIPAA training, the types of best practices that there are in your business. These are also going to become your selling points when you're going out to clients, letting them know, hey, my people are going to come on board HIPAA certified, HIPAA trained. They're going to be trained in fraud, waste, and abuse, Medicare. These are things that you want to know. Industry specific requirements, compliance requirements, certifications. For example, my niche, I'm in the healthcare insurance marketplace. So I have personally 2 AHIP managed health type certifications. In pharmacy, I have a board certification. I'm also certified in business analytics from Harvard. And I have just these different certifications. Find out what memberships and certifications look good for your industry. If you're specializing in engineering, find out what certifications and memberships people in that industry have. Marketing and networking, branding, everybody stresses branding, but branding is one of those things where it's important, but don't get stuck there. Don't get stuck on a logo. Don't get stuck on business cards and the most advanced website, the most expensive $1,200 website. Listen, get you a Wix or Weebly website, put it up there, make it look nice, get one of the professional templates. You can literally Google recruitment agency, Weebly template, Wix template, WordPress template, and you can build your own website if you have a minimal level of creativity. Start networking. Network. Go to industry events centered around the niche that you think you want to go into. If you're going to be staffing nurses, it would be a good idea for you to find out where the nurses hang out. What Facebook groups are they in? What LinkedIn groups are they in? So that you can go out and find these people. What happy hour do they go to on Hump Day Wednesday? That might be a good thing for you to do. Start building your relationships immediately, because again, to go back to a point that I made earlier, your first client might in turn end up being the company that you work for right now. Keep that in mind. Digital presence. You're going to start building your digital presence on the job boards, on social media, online advertising. So when you go and you sit down with somebody for a one-on-one, or you sit down with somebody for a program, a 8-week or 12-week program, it's great for them to take a few minutes to teach you how to post an ad on Indeed. But it would be even greater if you knew how to do it, and then you can focus on the problems that you have with that Indeed ad as to, like, why are they trying to charge me to post this ad? See, so if you're spending the bulk of your time learning how to do the foundational stuff, sometimes you won't make it to the advanced problems that you're going to encounter doing operations. You do yourself a disservice if the bulk of your time is spent at the entry level stuff. And then when you get to the more advanced problems, you don't have anybody to call, or you might have somebody to call, but it costs you more money because you wasted your time on your last one-on-one talking about stuff that you should have already had prepared. So now you're going to have to book another one-on-one to discuss a whole new unrelated issue, right? Continuous learning. I stay abreast of what's going on in the staffing and recruitment industry. I stay abreast of what's going on in the pharmacy industry, in the health insurance industry. Oh, baby, every time something comes up about one of these PBMs, these big major PBMs that are my clients, I'm reading all the material. I'm reading all the propaganda, all the white papers, everything. That's what I do. I'm in the business of being an expert, a subject matter expert on those things. You need to do the same. Attending workshops and trainings. There are staffing and recruitment agency organizations that you can join. There are various groups that you can join. Now, I'm going to caution you on these groups. I'm in a lot of the groups too, and some of the stuff I see is so idealistic and wrong, but you have people out there putting themselves out as experts, and they don't actually work in the business that they're teaching. They're just selling you a consultation. They're just selling you a course. They're just telling you it's easy to start a 6-figure staffing agency, and they teach you this fundamental stuff that I'm showing you in this checklist, and then they send you on your way and nothing becomes of your business. But that's another topic for another day. And lastly, what I've been kind of talking about is mentorship and advisory. Find a mentor. Identify those who can give you the guidance for your industry, but be sure to vet those people. And you kind of want to know, okay, if you're teaching me staffing and recruitment, When is the last time you staffed and recruited? All right, it's okay if they've built a multi-million-dollar agency and now they just want to teach other people how to do it. It's cool, but just beware that there are some people out there that their 6 and 7 figures did not come from operating the agency. It came from selling you a $10,000 course. So sometimes you can tell the differences just by the things that they talk about. If they keep on talking about the same baseline, foundational, general information, chances are they Googled their information and now they reselling what they learned back to you versus somebody that is really in the paint and works this business, has worked this business recently, is working this business now. Therefore, they can tell you what problems they encountered last week versus 5 years ago, because the market changes every day. So do find yourself a mentor, but learn how to get the most out of your mentor by being prepared to ask the right questions. Oftentimes, if you jump in and you just start doing stuff, there are very few many things that you can mess up and it causes a permanent problem for you. Most everything can be fixed, but you got to dive in. The best way to get going and build traction in this industry or any business is by getting started. And then you can kind of clean up and pivot and change things as you go. But if you get a mentor and you expect that mentor to teach you the fundamentals, the operations, the scale, you're going to spend a lot of money because that person is going to charge you for all the time that they're taking. Wouldn't it be great if you had everything already in place and you're rocking and rolling, and then you come to an issue and it's like, oh, let me go book a one-on-one with Sean, spend that money that one time, get that question answered or set of questions answered, and then keep trucking because you already have a set of baseline knowledge. So this is the prerequisite checklist that I feel you should come in the door with before starting your staffing and recruitment agency and before really choosing a mentor in this business. And inside of the toolkit, I have various checklists, resource lists, business planning toolkit. I have all of this set up for you. I even have how to onboard your first candidate. I have people emailing me about the contracts and how to onboard people. All of it is in here. Let me show you. Well, I won't show you this time, maybe in a subsequent video, but there is a plethora of information and tools that I've put together and curated for every phase of your business. So this is what you get at the start. Then my favorite part, like I said, is operations. So I have a whole bunch of operations tools. This advanced recruitment tools section, this is the good stuff in here. The call scripts, the email scripts, how to set up your Dripify campaigns. All of that stuff is in here. Like, there's almost nothing. I had a young lady email me and she's like, I haven't started yet and I'm interested in your toolkit, but I want to know if it contains this, this, and this. Yeah, of course it does. It contains that and 99 other things that's going to help you get going. I have the contract templates. Basically, this is a recruitment agency in a box, in a sense. Not that I'm trying to sell it to you. I don't make the bulk of my money selling you this toolkit or even selling my programs. I just have those things available for those that are serious about working with me in particular as a mentor. And then I have some things about scaling. A lot of this focuses on technology and automation. I have some state and even federal contracting information because that's a space that when you start growing, that you might want to enter into. So pretty much everything is here. And when you get the toolkit, you of course get access to this course. The course has the preliminary foundations, but it has 9 modules that walk you through the same stuff that's in the bundle. But if you're a person who likes more of a classroom type environment, you can marry the course with the contents of the bundle and they feed off of each other. So they can be utilized independently, but optimally they are utilized together, and you get both of them inside of the toolkit along with some other resources. And it's just great to have a lot of this stuff done before you get started, so that once you get started, you don't waste time and you don't waste money. So what's inside of the course, like I said, is your foundational prerequisites, the introduction to the business, foundations of recruiting. This is one thing that I teach that is so important to me. You need to know what a recruitment cycle is. If you don't know, go back to my video from February 2023, the 360 style recruitment training. It was like 2 hours long. Go back and watch that video. And even in 2 hours, that video doesn't tip the iceberg as far as this topic. So many people enter the recruitment space and they don't know how to be recruiters. They know how to be whatever their profession is, and they think that somehow that segues over into a career in recruitment or a business in recruitment, and it doesn't. Like, you need to know what a Boolean search is. You need to know how to operate as a recruiter. So that's a lot of what I focus on teaching. Staffing essentials, because as we know, staffing and recruitment are different. Candidate experience and onboarding, advanced recruitment and staffing techniques, legal and ethical and contractual considerations, employee engagement and retention, scaling, and future trends. So, as one of my favorite rap songs says, it's all there. It's all there. If you look for it, you can Google it. It's all there too. If you want somebody to put it together for you, it's available. Don't go it alone, but go about this business the smart way. It'll save you time and money. That is all. Have a good day.